All right, so in today's video, I'm gonna tour you through 5 different neighborhoods of Spring Hill. And if you're not that familiar with Spring Hill, it's actually one of the most peaceful and safe neighborhoods in the Nashville area, maybe even in Tennessee. Sorry, not neighborhoods, cities. It's not that far south of Nashville. It'll take you about 35 minutes depending on traffic to shoot up 65 into Nashville. So it's one of the reasons it's become a really popular suburb. Behind me, I actually have one of the most desirable neighborhoods in all of Spring Hill, and I'm gonna save that one till towards the end. So we're gonna come back here later, but trust me, you're gonna wanna stick around to see this one. And if we have time today, what we're gonna be showing you is quite a few neighborhoods that are at a little bit higher price points. Spring Hill has come up quite a bit in price, and we're gonna cover all that in this video. But as a bonus at the end, if we have time, I'm gonna show you one more subdivision that's a lot more reasonable in price than the other ones, while perhaps not as nice. So if these neighborhoods are too much for your budget, stick around because we're gonna show you one other that might just fit. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we're here in the Benevento subdivision in Spring Hill. And as you can see, a beautiful day out, nice fountain right here at the entrance of the subdivision. And you got a lot of wonderful homes surrounding it. The homes here are more of an Italian style. And so they're somewhat unique within Spring Hill in my experience. The location of this subdivision is actually right off of Duplex Road, one of the main roads. Many of them are right off this road, which is one of the reasons I think they're so popular, is because it makes it so convenient to get around the city. Additionally, this one is zoned, like all of the other subdivisions in this video, for Williamson County schools. This subdivision is zoned for the Allendale Elementary School, the Spring Station Middle School, whoop, hitting the trees, and the Summit High School. Highly rated schools in the area, of course, because they're all Williamson County schools. You're gonna see that basically all the subdivisions that we visit today are zoned for Spring Station, and then we have some variants in the elementary and high schools. A lot of them here as well are also zoned for Summit High School. In fact, my daughters will be going there as they get older. When this neighborhood was built here in Benevento, the concept was to create a community that was peaceful and elegant and provided great areas to gather, like around this fountain. But also you'll see that many of the homes here are quite unique, so they wanted to make sure that the homes could be built and catered to the unique needs of the people that live here. And again, like I mentioned, these homes are built in more of an Italian brick style to give that more upscale feel while being at a more affordable price. Benevento actually has over 50 different floor plans in the subdivision. And the average home here is about 3,400 square feet, so they're quite large homes. Another thing this subdivision has going for it is that there's a ton of amenities. As you've already seen, there's a cascading fountain. They have tree canopied sidewalks, a natural brook, a community pool, a playground, and arched entrances. There's just so many things about Benevento that give it a unique feel. And the homes here range in around the 600s. There are some homes that have sold for significantly more, especially some of the model homes. But overall, you can find quite a few different homes here in the $600,000 range. All right, so next up, we're gonna head over to the Burtonwood neighborhood. I'll see you over there. All right, so here we are at the entrance to the Burtonwood subdivision. And as you can tell, there's a lot of activity going around me, a lot of sounds, because what we are is right now, we are on the corner of Duplex and Buckner. Again, one of the conveniences of a neighborhood like Burtonwood, that they have convenient access to the major roads here in the city. Often it only takes a few minutes to get to any shopping or dining needs, groceries. Honestly, one of my favorite things about living in Spring Hill is how convenient, almost no matter what neighborhood you live in. All right, now we can hear the nature sounds here. Burtonwood is again zoned for Williamson County schools. So they have Chapman's Retreat as an elementary, Spring Station as their middle school, and again, Summit for their high school. Highly rated schools again. No one here has any complaints about it. Williamson County has what's considered to be the best school zone in Tennessee and one of the best in the nation. Now, as you drive through this neighborhood, something that I've noticed in the trips I've taken through it, these roads, as they wind back into the neighborhood, give you this sense of peace and privacy. And it's one of those neighborhoods where it's got that classic neighborhood feel, great for families. The other great thing about it is that it's actually priced pretty well for this area. If you've been following real estate in the Nashville area, of course it blew up just like just about anywhere else between 2020 and 2022. But the homes in this neighborhood have stayed a little more reasonable. The homes here are mostly in the 500,000s, but you can get the occasional home in the $400,000 range. Now the homes in this neighborhood are a little bit more traditionally designed. They're on larger lots overall, so they have good yard sizes. Again, that's one of the things that makes it great for families in Burtonwood. And there's plenty of space to walk on the sidewalks here with your children and your pets, and it's a really tight-knit and close community here. They also do have a community pool here. One of the many features of this neighborhood that really attracts people here. Compared to a lot of other neighborhoods in the area, it's very well priced. So next up, we're gonna go look at Dakota Point. I'll see you over there. All right, so now we're here in front of the Dakota Point neighborhood in Spring Hill. And again, this one is right off of Duplex Road. What I really love about this neighborhood is these homes are all this gorgeous brick. And in fact, if I had to pick a neighborhood in the town that when I drive through it, I just overcome with this sense of beauty, for some reason it's Dakota Point here. So this is one of my personal favorites as far as just to look at. The other thing that I really like about this neighborhood is the layout. There's just a really efficient layout with a couple different circles, really easy to get to any of the neighbors' homes or to get in and out of the subdivision without having to wind back into courts and things like that. It's got a really well thought out layout that I just really love. Most of the homes here were built in the early 2000s, and they range between about 2,200 to 3,400 square feet. So you got quite a range here. As far as cost, these homes generally range in the 500s and 600,000s, and it really depends on, with that wide of a range of square footage, what you're looking for your family. And as far as families go, this is another great family for neighborhoods. They have sidewalks on every road. Every time I drive through here, I see kids running around the neighborhood playing with each other. It's beautiful. It's fantastic for families. It's super convenient like the other neighborhoods to get all around Spring Hill. Even when it just comes down to small details like the placement of the trees in the subdivision, it gives it just enough green without being in the way. You know, when you're going through and just looking at the homes, you'll see in some of the other neighborhoods in this city that the trees are kind of blocking, so you don't get that good curb appeal. And that's not really a problem here in Dakota Point. Like many areas of Spring Hill, it's just really peaceful. Just walking through here, listening to the nature sounds, it makes me feel good just taking a walk out here in the sun. If you do decide to move to Spring Hill, you can't go wrong in this neighborhood if you're looking for just a peaceful place. Next up, we're gonna go to one of the biggest subdivisions in Spring Hill, Wade's Grove. I'll meet you over there. All right, so here we are in Wade's Grove in Spring Hill. One of my personal favorite neighborhoods because it's got so many different options and it's got a great community feel here. In fact, behind me is the community pool, and this area has got a playground, it's got a covered picnic area, and it's a great place that people gather together for community here. And personally, I'm a little jealous because my subdivision doesn't have a great area like that. Wade's Grove is one of the favorite communities for families here in Spring Hill. And as you take a look around, I'm sure you can see why. The homes here are all built by John Mayer, who's a very reputable builder in the area, and they're all brick homes set with natural wood and stone accent. While the homes here do vary in size and price quite a bit, they all have very similar features. You're generally going to see hardwood floors, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and open concept living areas in these homes. And like I mentioned before, because the variety of homes here in different sizes and shapes, there is quite a variety of prices here in the area. So homes here generally will be in the 500s to 600,000s. However, there are some homes that have sold for well over 800,000. I personally listed a home for 800,000 in this particular subdivision. What's cool about that is that you can get the amenities and what you need for your family and what suits you at a wide variety of budgets, but it's possible that the home you absolutely love might be out of your price range in this particular subdivision. That's Wade's Grove. It's a fantastic community one of my probably 3 favorite subdivisions in Spring Hill. The next one we're gonna take a look at is one I teased in the beginning of the video. That is the Arbors at Autumn Ridge. I'm gonna meet you over there. Hold up, before we head over to the Arbors at Autumn Ridge, I had to tell you one other thing about Wades Grove. So one of the fantastic things that people really love about this subdivision is that it is extremely close to both Spring Station and Summit High Schools. In fact, you can cut right through this subdivision to get to those 2 schools, to the point where a lot of families will actually have their kids either walk or bike to school. It just adds that extra layer of convenience that your kids don't necessarily have to get a bus. Personally, again, that's one of the things that makes me jealous and makes me wish I lived in this subdivision, but just another reason why so many families love it here. Now let's really go to the Arbors at Autumn Ridge. Okay, so we're back in the Arbors at Autumn Ridge, and this is, like I said before, one of the most desired neighborhoods in all of Spring Hill. One of the reasons for that is that it has some incredible schools. So for elementary school, your kids are either gonna go to Amanda H. North or Longview. For middle school, it's gonna be Heritage, and for high school, it's gonna be the really highly rated Independence High, one of the most incredible schools in all of Tennessee. But I might be biased about that one. The Arbors at Autumn Ridge are tucked away behind all the shopping areas, which makes it really convenient, but also along the creeks and the wooded areas of southern Williamson County, making it just a gorgeous view from some of these areas. And the community here has some beautiful open spaces as well. So it's got 2 different parks, including the one that you see behind me, with pavilions, playgrounds, and a half basketball court. You'll also see that there's a little pond back there. Now, if I were to interject one thing about this subdivision, behind me here, there's a major road that goes through this subdivision called Miles Johnson Parkway. And that road is so trafficked that if I were to move to this subdivision, I personally wouldn't want to have a home on or even catty-corner to Miles Johnson, because there's just so many cars going down that road all the time. I'm walking down one of the side streets right now. Maybe 1 car's passed me so far, I wasn't paying attention, but it's, you know, the side streets, you're not gonna see much, but Miles Johnson Parkway gets a little bit crazy. Something else that residents love here is there is a lot of community events, including concerts, a 4th of July parade, an Easter egg hunt, and even more. Now, most of the homes here are in the high 2000s, and really in most of the homes are going to be above 3,000 square feet. So of course that comes with a pretty high price tag, because these homes are really quite nice. So you're going to be spending in the 700s or 800s to get here in the subdivision, with the rare home potentially going for as much as 900,000. That's one of the things that can be restrictive for some people that want to get into Spring Hill, and that's why what I'm going to show you next is one of the most affordable suburbs in Spring Hill. And when I moved here a few years ago, it's actually the one I ended up in, and I absolutely love it. So let's go take a look at Candlewood. All right, and so here we are finally at the Candlewood subdivision in Spring Hill. And like I mentioned before, this is the neighborhood that I actually live in. It is really conveniently located. So that's one of my favorite things, is that Candlewood resides in a very central area of Spring Hill, and basically accessed by 2 of the major roads here in Spring Hill, Duplex and Port Royal. I usually use either of those roads to get anywhere else I need to get in Spring Hill, and that's probably my favorite thing. The other thing I like about it is something that's really true about all of Spring Hill, is that it's really peaceful here. My kids are always running around the neighborhoods with their friends, enjoying whatever, and we're not really worried about it. So you get that peace of mind here in this neighborhood. And another thing that I like, and a lot of neighbors like here as well, is that there's no HOA here. Granted, that also means that sometimes you're going to see some homes aren't maintained as well as they might otherwise if they had an HOA forcing them to. But I think that overall the neighbors here do good about keeping their homes up. As far as when the homes were built, really most of the homes here were built around 2000 or before. So my home was actually built in 1999. And if you do purchase in this neighborhood, it's worth noting that you're going to want to check on the things like the age of the HVAC unit, because my HVAC unit is still the same one that was there when it was built. Thankfully, it's worked for us well, but those are the kinds of things you want to make sure you're checking on when you purchase in a neighborhood like this in the area. Thankfully, these homes are well built. Haven't really had any issues with our home since we moved here. And that's a pretty common thing as well in Spring Hill, is that the builders here just do a good job on the homes. As far as what it's going to cost you, like everywhere else here, the prices have come up quite a bit. Personally, I purchased for under $300,000 back in 2020, and now you're more so looking to get homes in the low 400s to sometimes in the 500s here. But when you're in the 500s, you're getting a much larger, much nicer home. Occasionally, a home still will sell here in the neighborhood for less than $400,000. We had one recently sell for $375,000, but realistically, you're going to be looking at the 400s if you want to get into Candlewood. But again, for being economical, being in one of the safest places in Tennessee, convenient to Nashville, it's hard to beat a neighborhood like Candlewood. It's just one of the reasons I love it. And look how beautiful it is out here. Just love the clouds today. Thanks for coming on this tour with me. If you are thinking about seeing more of Spring Hill, and if you have any interest, I actually did a full vlog tour where not only do I show you neighborhoods, but I show you around town. So if that interests you, you can check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to Tennessee you soon.